I'm knitting. What?
That's someone's bag.
Yeah, I've made it for someone as a present.
It's like wrestling with an octopus.
It is. See?
Oh, okay.
She won't mind. She knows who she is.
Right.
She won't mind. She's lovely.
Excellent.
You see me preparing.
See, it's a new year and it's a new slick cake.
Yes. And
So she didn't buy it?
no, it's a
Oh,
present.
okay. I was going to say.
No, it's a present for her.
How long will it last, I wonder?
One episode.
No, it's going to last ages.
So Dan Jones.
Oh, you see, it didn't last even one episode, did it?
Who enjoyed the Advent knit along we did?
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't do it.
That's all I've done this one for 2 months.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Whoa! It's 2016.
It is.
Back to the Future is now in the past.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
That was the date that I was always working towards.
Yeah.
I would think, where will I be and what will I be doing
I know.
when it's 2015? And do you know what? I don't know what I thought. I should have written it down, shouldn't I?
What you thought you would be doing?
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Definitely would have been something to do with music.
Mm.
And I suppose it is.
Yeah.
And that's probably about where
Where it stops.
which is quite funny. Although, as a young boy, you always dream that you'll have an extremely lovely wife. And I
Do you get bored of this?
That's
I'm
why.
sorry.
That's why I smiled. Did you have a good Christmas?
Did you have a good Christmas?
You said it.
Yes.
You're a bit-
No, I've not started the new year off well, have I?
No, I think we keep it. I like it. I like it. It's good. She does it actually when we're not filming too. It's great. I sit down, to watch TV. Say, "What should we watch tonight?" She says, "What should we watch tonight?"
I don't do that, do I?
No, she doesn't. All I know is this: it's 2016.
Yep.
It's the start of a new year.
Yep.
And what I know for definite is, and this is going to be my mantra right the way through this year, that's positive action always breeds positive results. So no matter what challenges may come at you this year, always attack it with positivity and you'll win. You'll win hands down.
I'm going to try and maintain that in my head.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I fight against positivity.
It's the truth though. It's
It is
the truth.
Yeah.
If you approach things with a positive attitude, if you make that frustrating phone call that you maybe need to make to sort out a situation or whatever it might be, if you attack it with positivity, it always breeds positive results. In my 40 years on this planet,
Yeah, and you had to do that very thing yesterday, didn't you? So
not just that, but other things. Other things recently. We've made this conscious decision to start today, the 1st of January 2016, and move forward with we just putting behind us some of the things that have gone before. And the way to do it is with positivity, because at the end of the day, life's too short to be negative.
life is too short, and I worry about everything, as I think and Sally said to me last night on an email we were emailing last night, and she said, I know I've said this before, but worrying never changes the outcome of whatever situation it is you're worrying about. And that is absolutely true.
No.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'd try and keep that in my head, that it's virtually impossible for me to do that, and Sally knows that. But I am going to try and keep that in my head, that, there's absolutely no point in worrying.
So let's start today together with the
Yes.
same mantra and approach.
Yes.
No matter what this year throws at you, tackle it head on. And the other thing I was thinking, I was watching, obviously, over the Christmas period, we watched The Muppet Christmas Carol, which we totally agreed that the reason why that film is so good is because Michael Caine takes it so seriously.
He's amazing.
He is amazing. And he talks about the need to keep the spirit of Christmas the whole year through.
Yeah.
And I'm totally down with that.
It's true.
It's about random acts of kindness too, isn't it? And about caring for your fellow man and passing stuff on and all those things. It's so important. And I think, as we enter into, certainly in this country, if you could see the weather, You don't want to see the weather. And actually, thoughts go out to everyone who's
gosh.
suffering with flooding at the moment.
Not only in this country though, but in
and also the snow that's going on in America.
There's been horrendous storms in America, and I know particularly in Texas. There's been cyclones. It's been horrendous. So I hope you're all safe. You know, I think generally across the world at the moment, the weather seems to be awful.
Extreme.
You know?
Extreme.
Very extreme.
Yeah.
And we've got Storm Frank raging outside at the minute, and I do think they should have given it a more terrifying name.
Yeah.
Storm Frank.
Frank is like a lovely uncle who comes round at Christmas, maybe has a few too much to drink.
If you saw outside right now,
Goes a bit
it should be
ruddy-faced.
Storm Hercules.
Yeah.
It's absolutely raging, and we've got about another 4 hours of it yet. So
We can cope. I must just say, actually, before we get cracking, that we both got sent a really lovely pattern by Zena Nicholson from Townsville in Australia.
Yeah.
And I've been to Townsville.
No.
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah, I did. And I actually messaged Zena about this.
Another Xena.
I know.
How exciting. We love
I
a
know.
Xena, as you know.
We do. And there'll be more about that later in the show.
Uh-huh. Wink, wink.
I went to Australia after I finished college, and I spent about 6 months there, and we went to Townsville, and
Whereabouts is it?
it's on that coast.
East.
Yes, that will be the east then. And I said to Zena, I sent her a message, I can't really say I was particularly impressed.
With Townsville?
No.
Oh, you shouldn't say that. She lives there.
Well, I know, but she was cool with that. And I said the reason why I'll always remember it, because I went to lots of places in Australia, the reason why I'll always remember it is it just made me laugh. Who thought that, because ville in French is town.
Oh, right.
So
Town.
It's called, well, it's Townstown.
Townstown.
How strange.
That's funny.
So I'll never forget Townsville. And I remember the coach that we were on as well. It looked like a greyhound.
Oh, right.
It was so exciting to
I've
go
never
on.
been on a greyhound coach. I've always really
It was
wanted
so
to.
exciting to go on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love
really,
a coach.
She was really sweet and gifted us a pattern. The pattern's called Victoria Street. And the reason why I mention it is, as Kay mentioned on a previous episode, our handbrake pattern is now free. If you want to still donate to a cancer research charity and get a lovely knitting pattern, then get Victoria Street, because for the next 3 months, I think it is, it'll say so on her pattern page, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 months. This pattern, the proceeds are being split between 2 cancer charities.
Right.
This is perfect.
Excellent.
And I really like the backstory of this as well. Victoria Street was the name of the street that a relative of Zena's lived on, who fought pancreatic cancer for a long time and then unfortunately died from it. So it's just a really nice story. The pattern looks really lovely. So if you want to keep donating and get a pattern, that's the pattern to do it with. Enough of this. It's time for What's on Your Needles? The first What's on Your Needles for 2016.
I've just
Where will it take us
I'm
this
kind
year?
of in the middle of a row.
Who knows where we'll go this year? I wonder how many socks you'll make this year.
Well, I'm certainly not going to be knitting 40 pairs, which I think is what lovely Mina knit last year. 40 pairs of socks.
My prediction is she'll do more this year.
She will definitely do more this year because she's doing the sockathon.
Yes.
And she's got 10 balls lined up already for that.
Yes.
I think she's going to do more than 10. I think they will both her and Marsha, I think will do more than 10 in a month.
And remember, they can double dip between the soccer
I think
balls.
there's a few sock knit-alongs going on in January, I think. So feel free, to double dip. Because ours will start on the 1st of January,
Today.
Which is today.
Yeah.
It's our Cozy Toesies knit-along, and it's running for the month of January, so up until 31st of January. I'll close it probably 1st of February. And you can enter partly knit socks as long as you haven't knit more than half. So either one sock if you're knitting them one at a time, or half of each sock if you're knitting them 2 at a time. And I'm not going to police that, obviously. Use your own judgment as to what is 50% of your projects. So yeah, and there are threads open on the Ravelry group now if you want to go across and have a look. I did initially put that it ran till the end of February. I got that wrong. I'm sorry if you read that over the past couple of days. It's just for the month of January. I think it's long enough for a sock knit along. So
It feels
super fun, cozy toesies, everybody.
The Mina and Fairy Little thing seems like it's getting a bit competitive.
I think it's very competitive. Mina's having a little hand rest at the minute. She's like not knitting for a little bit to give her hands a rest. Marsha, come on.
Yeah, it's not about picking
no,
sides at
we're
all.
cheering for both of you.
We
you
are.
Know, it's so fun, you know.
Go Team Marsha!
He's so mean, isn't he? Ignore him.
I'm being naughty, Mina. I'm so sorry.
So what's on my needles?
Yes.
You're asking?
Yes. What is on your 2016 needles?
Well, the first thing on my needles is a homage. Is it a homage?
Yeah.
To, as you all know about the new Star Wars film, and I think anybody who was going to go and see it probably has seen it by now. But
Yeah, still wouldn't give any spoilers.
We're not going to give any spoilers, not at all. However, it kind of inspired me to, I thought, oh, I'd really like to knit a pair of socks that's kind of Star Warsy. And I didn't have any specifically dyed up yarn. I know that some yarn dyers have done that. So I thought, I'm just going to make up this sock. And I got a bunch of Drops Fable in some colours that I thought looked right for this particular character in Star Wars. And I'll just mention, this is in a little bag that I've recently sewn up. I've not been happy with the drawstring bags I've been making. They weren't very do you know how a drawstring bag is not generally lined? And it didn't feel substantial to me. I use them myself, but I just didn't feel comfortable selling them for some reason. I don't know why. So I've had to play around, and I bought some thinner. I use like a fleecy lining, and I've bought a thinner one, and I thought I'm going to give it a go. And I really like it now. So that's a little bag that I made. This is for a gift for a friend. But that's a little bag that I made just as a trial. A little drawstring. So I think I'm going to make some of these when I next have an update. I'm not sure that's going to be yet. But I will put a note on Instagram when I know when that's going to be. So in that little bag that I'm just temporarily using, you know, the person knows whose this is. So I'm only using it just for this morning. I know you won't mind. I'm knitting some R2D2 socks. So the colours I chose are, I can't remember the colourway names, or I don't think there's names, I think they're just numbers, but I've got this grey and blue, you can probably guess the character, a teeny bit of red, and just a cream. And I've devised a little R2D2 sock. Have a look. Try not to block my face. Do you think it looks like R2D2?
Yes.
I think it's so cool. Look, isn't that cool? I'm really pleased with it. And all I did, I have taken notes because I've also got to knit another one. I had a picture of R2D2 next to me, and I just started knitting the sock and changing the colours when I thought it looked right. So the rib is effectively his head, and the red is just a single row of red, and it's his like beamy thing. It's not an eye, is it? It's a beamy thing, you know what I mean. And then, you know, this is like the body of him, and I just put a couple of stripes of blue in there because he has got, on the top of his body, he has got a couple of sort of bands of blue. And then I've done the blue heel, and then I'm just going to work my way down in the cream, and I think I'm going to do a grey toe because he does have some more like metal colour further down his body, and I think that works. Don't you think that works?
Yes, it's brilliant.
So I have taken notes.
You nearly stopped, didn't you? I'm sure you nearly stopped.
Stop? Did I?
Yeah, and I was like, what? I love those socks.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I wasn't, because I'm doubling the yarn. I should have said that before. I'm not holding it as a fingering weight. I'm doubling it so that it's more of a worsted, because I wanted these to be kind of house socks for Dan. But then I thought, would you wear them? And you're like, yeah, of course I'd wear them. So I am knitting them. So like I said, I haven't made a project page yet actually on Ravelry for this, but I will make one and put a few notes on there. And I'm knitting it on 3.5 mils Knit Pro Symphonies Magic Loop, and really enjoying it. So I'm just now working down the leg, doing my gusset decreases. I did a slightly different heel for this because it's 56 stitches, and all my patterns normally, I have done 56 stitches before. I can't remember where I got the heel from for that, but for this one I got out my book, which is by, gosh, I can't remember the woman's name now off the top of my head. I'll think of it in a second. It's a sock book that I don't think is actually in print any longer. It's like a ring bound one. It'll come to my head. But the heel turn has got a wider point just here. Do you know, across here? Normally when you kind of purl back on that first sort of purl row, you purl sort of 3 or 5 stitches. Well, with this it was a lot more. I think it was like 11 or something. So it gives a wider back to the heel, and I thought that might be better to suit Dan's heel because it's got a wide heel. It also means you've got more stitches to decrease down for the gusset, and again I thought that would be good for Dan because the widest point of his foot is across where the gusset decreases go, and the stitches are always quite stretched across there. So I thought if I have a few more, then that would help, you know, there'd be a bit more fabric around there. So that's going really well, and I'll carry on with that. And
excellent.
Dan Jones,
Yes.
what's on your needles?
2016 needles.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, this is yummy.
it is. And whenever I look at the colourway name, it does make me think of, who says that? Is it Geordie's when it's cold?
When it's cold, I'm not sure.
I think it's Geordie's because I worked in Newcastle for a little while, and
Right.
that really rings a bell with me.
Don't think it's a Yorkshire thing.
I got this for Christmas in my stocking,
Look at that.
and
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'll show you what I've cast on in just a moment, but I want you to look at that lovely colour.
Isn't that wonderful?
And it doesn't...
Gailey Whaley will love that colour. I think she might have knit something with it.
Honestly.
Possibly.
Wow.
I know she loves...
President Gale.
Oh, yes, President
And
Gale.
are we in an election year yet? In America?
I think it might be. It's
Ooh.
2016, an election year.
It's tricky. Well, if we're wrong, we're sorry.
Well, yes. If it is an election year, I think it might be. Gail, we're expecting to see you.
So Gail...
I would totally vote for Gail.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you have knit, and you see what she could do is, instead of investing like Donald Trump $2 million a week, which is what he said he's going to spend on his campaign,
It's madness, isn't it?
she could just invest $20 a week in yarn
Yes,
and knit stuff
Yeah.
and tell us all about it,
Yeah.
and that'd be enough.
it would.
So what is this yarn? What is this
Can you
lovely
guess
yarn?
what it is?
It's Madeline Tosh, and the colour is Baltic.
Baltic. Oh, it's Baltic out there.
Yeah.
It's actually not. It's quite mild, but...
Yeah. And that's what I was referring to when I was saying who speaks like that. And do correct me, any British people who are watching, or maybe people from all over the world, if you use that expression when it's going.
Yeah, I've not heard it in other countries actually.
I used to hear it a lot.
In
I'm
Newcastle.
sure. Well, it must be Newcastle because I can't. I suppose it could be Middlesbrough,
Right.
maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
But it's Mad Tosh vintage.
it is. It's really lovely.
Oh, it's so beautiful, that colour.
It really is.
Yes.
And I'm knitting a Declan's hat with it.
For me.
Yes.
Do you see why I might have got him that?
Here it is. And I'm just doing the rib at the moment,
Yeah.
but it will be my first attempt at cables.
Cables.
Yes.
Yeah, and the pattern's pretty good for a beginner. I'm going to help him obviously, but it's written out line by line.
Yeah.
And you can cross out, and you only do each row once. You just work your way through the rows, and then you're done. So I will help you. You know.
I don't know what I think of cables at the moment. I've never done them before, so
It'll be interesting.
I think my
to see
opinion at
what
the
you
moment,
think.
my opinion of them will be fine if they follow the same sort of patterns that a knitting pattern follows. So if it,
Right, what do you mean?
if my brain accepts it in the way that I very quickly accepted knitting patterns because it's like music,
Right.
then I'm not going to have a problem. If it's
Right.
not like that,
I don't know.
if it's a
whether
bit sort of wayward and off it,
Oh, I don't know if cables are wayward. I don't know.
if it's freestyly and a bit nuts,
No, well, it's not that. I mean,
Right.
you do follow a rhythm with them.
that's the key word. She got it. It's the rhythm. So long as there's a rhythm to it, then I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I
There's
should
a
be all right.
regularity, isn't there, to a simple cable? There's a regularity and a
Yeah,
rhythm. So
yeah. Are you getting ready for your next?
I am. That's what I was
project?
doing. Do you see
That's
me?
excellent.
Do you see me preparing?
See, it's a new year and it's a new slick cake.
Yes.
How long will it last, I wonder?
One episode.
No, it's going to last ages. I can feel it. It's exciting. Now, what's coming out of here?
Oh my
Kay
goodness.
Jones, what else is on your needles?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
All I can say about this is it's just an absolutely joyous joy of a project. First of all, look at the bag. Beautiful. Wonderful Deb at Fondant Flat. You know, we could go on for, as you know, many minutes talking about Deb, but basically Dan asked Deb to do something for me for Christmas, didn't she?
Yeah, my big plan around the time of when I spoke to Susan B. Anderson about sending the message for Kay, my big plan for Kay was to get Susan B. Anderson to do that, and also for me to get a colourway done for her. So I got in touch with the only person who I thought could nail it in the time that we had available.
Yeah.
So.
And that's wonderful, Deb. And Dan asked her to do a particular theme that he knew I loved, and the theme was Little House on the Prairie. So she sewed up 2 bags. This is a small one. I've got a bigger one in the same fabric, in this print that really is very reminiscent and would be exactly the kind of thing that Laura would wear in a dress, which goes on then to the colourway, which is called, can you see it, Laura's Frock. I don't know if people in other countries call a dress a frock. I think probably do, don't they? I don't know where that particular word came from, but
No.
you know, growing up my mum always used to say, you know, put your frock on. So
Yeah.
Laura's Frock is the colourway. I love everything about this I just love everything about this.
Goodness.
I
banked my whole Christmas on
I
this.
literally was in tears.
And thankfully
and
it worked. Thank
Bryony
you so
looked
much.
at me and she went, "Is it happy tears, mummy?" I was like, oh gosh, I said it is, darling, it's happy tears. Oh my gosh. The yarn base, first of all, is her Austin High Twist, which is superwash merino, cashmere and nylon, and I absolutely love this base. It's 365 metres per 100 grams, and that probably tells you that it's a plumper yarn, you know, because the yardage is a little bit less than it normally is to go with that weightage. And I love that. I love that it's a squishier, slightly thicker yarn. And this, I'll show you the colourway. I've got it split into 2 cakes, so this is one of them. Oh my goodness, can you see that? I apologise for the brightness of my nails this week. I had a bit of a nail polish disaster last night. I can't even tell you the trauma that I had, but this was the replacement polish for what I actually had on. So here's the colourway. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh. It's got in like I suppose it's kind of like a deep rosy magenta sort of pink, and then there's a brown, there's like speckles of brown in there on a background of like a fawn coloured background. You know, basically this fabric here, if you can see, look, it's perfect. Deb is perfect. I absolutely adore everything about this. So that's the yarn, and I knew as soon as I saw it, I knew what I was going to knit with it. And I'm knitting some Hermione's everyday socks. So I've got the perfect combination. I've got my favourite sock pattern, as you know, from lovely Erica, with the most amazing yarn. And I'm knitting them 2 at a time on DPNs. I knew I wanted to knit them on DPNs as well. And I'm just using Knit Pro Symphonies, 2.25 mils. So, there we go. So I've done the ribs on both. And then this one, I've started the pattern, but I've literally done 1 pattern repeat. But that's the one where I've started the little pattern, and I'm using my little progress keeper from Molly there. And it's just beautiful. It's fantastic to knit with this base, and I love the way that it's kind of speckly. If you can see, it's all beautifully speckly. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. So Deb, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. The best thing about this for you is, shall I say?
Yeah.
Deb actually sent another kit for you, for us to give away. So I'll just bring that out so I can show you.
We haven't decided.
We haven't decided yet, no, how we're going to do this.
We have a few little ideas, but
because it's such a special thing.
you're going to need to do something
It's
special.
it's such a special prize, I think, you know. So there's a large bag and a small bag, like exactly the same as I've got. And then a skein of the yarn, that's it all skeined up. Is that not beautiful? Oh my gosh. You know, so we're going to think of some amazing way for someone, some very, very lucky person to win this, and then we will let you know probably next time.
Yes, definitely.
We want to make it a really special giveaway, so we don't want to rush in to, you know, to just saying, just comment, you know, we want to do something special. So that's my next project, which I'm loving.
And it was much fun sending her secret messages.
Oh,
and,
was it?
Yeah.
You're so mean.
It was very fun.
So, Dan Jones.
Oh, you see, it didn't last even one episode, did it?
I just did it. What did I do wrong?
You were 2.5 seconds too slow.
I apologise. I'm distracted by Storm Frank out of the window.
Yeah, by Frank.
Hurricane
By
Frank.
grey, wet Frank. What else is on my needles? Well, I'll tell you.
Talking of Deb.
Yeah, I know. So, she sent me for Christmas
Yeah. And she sent me some handspun as well.
some of this. And there's no colour, is there?
No, she's just called it Handspun with Love.
Yes.
It's, shall I say what's in it
Yes.
while you show it?
Yes.
It's BFL, Shetland, silk and sari silk.
It's great.
Beautiful.
It really is lovely.
And it's like got gold in it, hasn't it? It's like flecked with gold, and I'm
Yeah.
presuming that's the silk.
Yeah.
Because it's shiny, the gold bits, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
It really is. So I thought, as I'd obviously spoken to Deb about making your present for Christmas, and we were in cahoots for a long time sorting that out. And I also spoke to Susan B. Anderson, who we're in cahoots, you know, as well. I've been in cahoots with Susan and Deb. I thought that the perfect
I'm
thing,
still not over that, Susan, at all.
the perfect thing to knit with this would be Susan B. Anderson's mittens.
Yay!
Yes.
You're making some waiting for winter mittens for me?
Yeah,
or,
well, I
or
think
for your mum.
no for you.
Well, no, I mean, we'll see.
I think we. What do you? Oh, so if they're good, you'll claim them.
No. It's just that I get everything, don't I? And I'm just trying to spread the... But saying that, it's not a superwash, so I don't know.
Yeah, it should be for you.
Yeah, I don't... Not that your mum wouldn't hand wash it, but she might forget.
So there, the first one is. It's my first ever attempt at mittens. I initially had brain freeze because I couldn't work out the fact that I was just knitting them like socks. I just thought
It is like that, isn't it?
I thought that I was knitting them like a hat, and I asked for a stitch marker, which was a bit crazy. But anyway,
It's like, can I have a stitch marker?
Yeah.
I said, what for? How are you going to do it?
So we got there in the end anyway, and I got my head around how these are being knit, and off I set, and I'm a few rows in. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And it's fun to be knitting something that it feels like a sock, but isn't going to be.
Yeah, it's it's much simpler than a sock, trust me.
Yeah, you sort of know where you're at.
And it's, I love because this is hand spun, I love how it looks, you know, with the thick and thin and...
Oh, yeah, that's the reason why I love handspun so
nubby
much.
bits and...
That's the reason why I love
Just think-
handspun so much.
Yeah, it's super lovely.
I just repeated myself. That was very strange. I
You're
said the
picking up
same
from
thing
me.
twice. That definitely is... as much as I really like the Regia and I really like that Madeline Tosh down there, I would always reach for handspun.
Yeah, you're definitely a hand spun knitter guy.
Yes, I think it makes a much more interesting project
Yeah.
and fabric and everything.
I agree.
What else is on your needles?
Well, who enjoyed the Advent knit along we did?
Oh, I didn't.
You didn't do it?
And
I actually did it, and
I actually did
I
it.
actually did it, and I knit the squares apart from one day that I fell behind and then I caught up the next day. Every single day I knit my 2 squares into my blanket, and I'm super proud of that. I know it's only 2 squares, but it does take a bit of effort to actually do something religiously like that. You know, every single day making sure that you do it. Excuse me. And I did it. So within the month of December, I knit 2 whole rows, and I've got 25 squares on a row, so that's 50 squares, plus I'm almost done knitting my 12 days of Christmas in as well. So that's another 12, obviously. So I will show you as best I can. Let me show you this bit here. This is the start of my rows, effectively. This, can you see this row here where my pointy finger, that one, can you see this row here?
I wonder if anyone... I can't say it, she won't like me, so I'm going to stop.
What?
You said pointy, made me think of pointy birds.
Oh, shush. This row...
Steve Martin.
This row here is my opal row. And I did have, I think I mentioned before, I had like similar colours together. Can you see this section here? Those three are very similar. But you know, when it's in the whole blanket as a whole, it's really not noticeable. So I just worked my way across, and then the row above, this with this red colour in here, is all the minis from lovely Erica from Dreams in Fibre. That was her mini club. Now hers was, what I did, because I've got 25 in a row, on the opal row I started it off with a mini that I just had that looked Christmassy, and then knit the 24. With Erica's I didn't do that, I just started with hers, and then for the very final square, this one here, I picked out the favourite of all of her colours and knit that one again, and it was this beautiful purple. No shock there that that was my favourite. So I did really enjoy it, and I'm really pleased that I stuck with it and got it done every day, because I've now got a permanent reminder of Christmas, you know, and that's lovely. And then this top row here, between my fingers, this is my 12 Days of Christmas, the Desert Vista Dye Works, and I'm actually ahead of myself. I decided that I really wanted to get it done as best I could within December, so that you can just start the new year fresh, you know, and I've not got Christmas things lingering over. I think I've got 3 more to go actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I've got 3 more to go. So I'm hoping that I get those done today. But that's those ones, and they've been super fun as well to do. And they came from lovely Amber, so thank you, Amber. What I think I'm going to do, because obviously I've got, this is my whole big bag of my opal advent calendar and my Dreams in Fibre little balls. Now obviously I've got masses of this left, and I thought, what shall I do? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep it till this coming Christmas, till next Christmas, and use them again. And this time I can, with the opal minis, I said to Bryony, she can just put them into little paper bags for me randomly, number them, and I'll do it that way, because inevitably they'll be in a different order, and also because of the nature of opal, the colours will probably be different in each little ball as well. And I'll probably do the same thing with the Dreams in Fibre. So I'm just going to pop those away in my stash and get them out again next Christmas and do the same thing again. So because the opal thing wasn't expensive, you know, I know that it was an expensive thing. So if I can make it last 2 Christmases, then it's not quite so bad, is it?
No.
So that will go away now in my stash. And then yesterday, oh my gosh, the lovely Amber again had sent me a parcel right at the beginning of December, and it hadn't arrived, and we were like, Amber was like, oh, she'd resigned herself to the fact that it had gone missing. And I've never had a parcel, touch wood, go missing. And it was Christmas, and I kind of said to you, didn't I? I said, I'm sure it will turn up. Well, of course it did. Hallelujah. And I got it yesterday, and in that she put a whole massive bunch of minis like she does, which are fabulous. But also what she did for me was, we participated in an opal swap within the opal group. They did a Christmas, was it a Christmas thing? I don't know if it was, it might have been. And basically you contributed a skein or 2 to it, and then they were all made into minis, and you got a bunch of minis back. If you donated 1 skein, I think you got 12, and if you donated 2, you got 24. I sent Amber 2 skeins of opal, and she sent those off with hers very kindly. And then I got back all the minis, and they were all in the parcel as well. And this is so fun because I recognise loads of the names. So there's probably people watching, and I've got some of your minis. Stephanie Sews on Ravelry, I know that name.
Is that her surname?
Maybe. That's fortunate, isn't it, if she sews and her name's that. But this one, she donated an opal Van Gogh. And it's
that looks familiar.
Well, it's not quite the same as your socks. Okay. This is Cafe Terrace. Mine was the Starry Nighty one that I've knit with. I can't believe she donated an opal Van Gogh. That just blows me away. But I won't go through them all, obviously. So I've got all those beautiful minis, so absolutely amazing. And Amber also sent me a full skein of something else, which I might save till next time to show you.
Yes.
Just to spread the joy of what it is, but needless to say, it's fabulous. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting the last 3 of those finished, and then I can just, you know, go back to normal, if you like, and start choosing them myself. And Bryony said, oh, I can't wait to start choosing some of those lovely new ones, Mummy. So Amber, she loves doing that. She goes through them all and picks one for me. So
It's lovely finish. It's very neat.
thank you. Yeah.
It's neater in real life, actually,
is
even
it really?
than on the picture. I mean, it looks neat on the picture, but it's like, it's crazy.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. And I'm already thinking about my next one. And I did wonder about this, and I said to you the other day, didn't I, that it might be nice, actually. We have like a bed runner, you know, at the bottom of our bed. We don't use a whole another sort of quilt on top because Dan gets so hot in bed. We don't need that kind of extra warmth, do we? I thought it might be nice just to have a runner along the bottom of the bed. And the width of it's not far off, I don't think, now. It might need a bit more length. So I'm thinking I might do that. And then I might start a new one.
That's a really good idea, because we would actually be using it regularly.
Yeah, rather than it being a blanket that... And then
Do
I
that.
might start a new one.
Do one for Bryony too.
Yeah, well, she wouldn't yet. I don't know.
Well, she would, because we put it on the bed.
Yeah, maybe. But I kind of would like to gift one of these. I mean, it'll probably take me 2 years to knit another one. But I do have a hankering to gift one. So that's my kind of thoughts on that at the moment. Because I think my next one, I might make the squares a bit bigger. I'm thinking. But we'll see anyway. We'll see. So
what else is on my needles? It's just some more of the Regia socks with the very lovely yarn that I just think is brilliant. I really
and you
do.
want the heel flap,
For
aren't
socks, it's perfect, actually. And I think I'm enjoying knitting with a thinner yarn, because I've not done that before. I mean, it is the thinnest yarn I've knit with by a long way, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it's creating a very different type project.
It's a finer knit,
Yeah.
isn't it? You're not used to doing a finer knit.
It maybe feels a bit more like someone good's done it.
You are a good knitter, honey. I mean, for heaven's sake, you make socks and cowls and...
But it looks more like,
hats.
you know, like someone else, like, oh. So it's quite fun to do. So I'd maybe encourage anyone who maybe's just knit maybe a few pairs of socks on thick yarn. I think once you've done, I've only done a few. Once you've done a few, just go for it and just relax and take your time, and you'll be fine. And I think my gauge is all right on the heel flap, because
Yeah, it looks good.
I tended to have. Is it all right?
It's okay, darling.
I tended to have a real problem with the gauge on the heel flap. It would come out way too tight, and it would curl, and it would make it impossible to pick up the stitches.
Yeah.
But
No, that's fine.
I sort of consciously just relax a little bit as I hit that heel flap section, and it keeps it, it keeps it nice and how it should be.
Indeedy.
And there is, of course, the very beautiful.
And
yarn.
it's the Opal 6 ply, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you got the ball band? We have said before, haven't we? But it's this one. Daydream 6 ply. Beautiful kitty cat.
Oh, now.
8353 is the colourway number.
In a moment, it's going to be time for the second part of Knit or Forfeit.
Oh, yay.
It's time for me to answer my questions. Nathan, of course, got 7 out of 10. And we haven't actually recorded it yet, so I don't know who wins or who loses. So this is going to be an interesting finish off of the podcast, because we will not know who's won or lost. But you're going to find out now in a second, which is great. But before then, I think that it's a brand new year, and we've got lots of big plans for favourite places to knit this year. And I think we should go and take a look at what those plans are, shall we?
Yes.
Yes, let's go have a look.
Exciting.
Yeah.
wow, that looked amazing. Can you believe it? Now, I don't know if any of you guys know The Railway Children.
I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. I've wanted to do this forever. If you've not watched, in preparation for that particular favourite places to knit, if you haven't seen the film The Railway Children, the one that's got Bernard Cribbins in it and Jenny Agutter, go and watch that one.
But hold on, aren't they in the remake too?
Bernard Cribbins, isn't it? Is he?
I don't know.
It's the old
Look,
one.
It's 1970.
Right, there you go, 1970 version. It's the one where Bernard Cribbins is young and he's the Mr.
Station master.
Yeah, he's called Mr.
But didn't they use the same locations in the remake? I think they did.
No, did they really?
And Jenny Agutter played the mother in the remake.
Yes, Jenny Agutter played
So,
the mother.
if
It's
you
the
want,
one where Jenny Agutter
watch
plays
both.
the daughter. Jenny Agutter is Bobby.
Bobby.
Bobby, as we say.
Yeah, watch both.
Yeah,
watch both.
I mean, watch both, yeah.
And then go read the book too.
And read the book, yeah.
Because we're going to properly explore the locations of that film, and also we'll talk a little bit about the story and maybe about the writing of the book. That will be super cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite films, and Bryony loves that film as well. She loves the book. Yeah.
But then we'll also, as you saw there, we'll be exploring Arthurian legends. And it was as much a shock to me as it might have been to you that supposedly the home of Lancelot was Alnwick Castle, as you will have spotted in that trailer. And of course, Alnwick Castle, famous for Harry Potter, it is Hogwarts, and also it's become really famous for Downton Abbey. So we'll be exploring.
It's the home of Bertie.
Yes. We'll be exploring the Arthurian legend myths, so Lancelot and the Round Table and other bits and pieces too. And then a request actually from a patron was that we go and explore James Herriot country.
Right, excellent.
So if any of you don't know what we're talking about, I'm sure you'll be able to find this somewhere. Go and watch a little bit of All Creatures Great and Small, a TV programme, or read some of James Herriot's books.
Yeah.
He was a vet in the Yorkshire Dales for an awful long time.
Yeah.
What years? Is it 40s?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure now. No.
I think it's 50s, 60s, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's post-war, isn't it? I think I'm pretty sure it's post-war.
So it's 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
But he just covered a massive area of the Dales, and we're going to go and explore.
Got the music going around in my head now.
Yeah. And so lots of exciting things in store for Favourite Place in It. That was just a taster. There'll be other things too. Enough of that though, and let's go and find out who wins, who is going to have to forfeit in Knit or Forfeit. Let's go see.
So that is your Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very exciting special edition of the Bakery Bears Knit or Forfeit, the knitting quiz with everything. You may have noticed a little change. I'm not Dan Jones, I'm Nathan Taylor, also known as Sockmatician, coming to you here from Sockmatician Towers in North London, and it is my very great pleasure to welcome my challenger for today, Dan Jones!
What's going on? Hold on, this is my presenting gig.
Well, I'm the one with the bow tie, so I suspect it may be me today.
Although I must say, I think you've done a rather marvellous job. I think we should have you present all the time.
Well, do you know what? I think that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll guest back in a couple of times.
Yeah.
Have you had a good Christmas?
Do you know what? We really have. It's been quiet and it's been nice, and no travelling this time, which, given the floods, how awful has the storms and things been?
Yes, horrendous. I've been seeing it on the news and making sure I sort of make sure all my friends are well, and they all are, because I've got a lot of friends in the north of England. Down here, we're not too badly affected, so that's okay.
Thankfully. And do you know, I've just noticed, just looking out over your shoulder there, I can see Alexandra Palace, where you and Ben got married.
You can. It's over there on the hill, just through the trees, a constant reminder of the old ball and chain.
How amazing! No, it's lovely. Do you know what? I love this flat. This is exactly the type of man pad I would like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all dark browns and masculine colours. It's perfect for the boys, you know.
But we're here
I reckon.
Go on.
I reckon, Dan Jones, we should probably crack straight on with
We
Knit
should.
or Forfeit.
I think
So
we
for
should
those
do a
of you-
quick check. Let's check the scores on the doors, though.
Here they are, coming into the screen now. This was from just before Christmas when Dan and I gave first round, when I gave my answers to his questions, and today it's time for me to get my own back. How are you feeling about this, Dan?
I am nervous. Definitely
Good, I think you
nervous.
should be. Well,
The
in my
pressure
grubby
is
little
on.
mitts here, it certainly is. In my hands here, I have got the questions on knitting submitted by the lovely Kay Jones. And do you know what? I think she's done it all right. Some of these are quite tricky, and some of these are probably okay. So I think we're on for a good match.
A good session.
Indeed. Let's crack on, shall we?
Go for it.
Remember, you have your 3 lifelines, Dan Jones.
Yes,
You have
yes.
your 50-50. You
Yes.
have your Ask Instagram, and you have Text a Friend. So at the end of this, with the winner, if we were to draw, will be decided on whoever has used the fewest lifelines.
Okay. I'm
Your
ready.
rules, not mine. Okay, here we go.
Hit me with
So,
it.
here it comes. This is question 1.
Okay.
It's about me.
Oh, crap.
Nathan's pattern, Snakes and Ladders Mobius Cowl, features what stitches? It's A, lace, B, ribbing and cables, C, twisted stitches, or D, brioche.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Now-
so that's my Snakes and Ladders Mobius Cowl. What is it? Lace, ribbing and cables, twisted stitches, or brioche? What are you thinking, Dan?
I'm thinking she's been very nice to me here because in one sense she's thought I've been doing lots of research prior to our Knit or Forfeit session. The problem is, as you established at the start, it was a few weeks ago. So
Yes, it was.
How much has stayed in the little grey cells? Now, just...
It all depends how much you care for me, Dan. I mean, if you really did care, it would still all be there.
Give me, yeah, you're putting the pressure on now. Give me the question and the answers once more.
Yes. Okay, Nathan's pattern, Snakes and Ladders Mobius Cowl, features what stitches? Is it A, lace, B, ribbing and cables, C, twisted stitches, or D, brioche? Over to you.
Okay, I'm drawn to... You see, the brioche, I get pulled towards brioche because I know how much you love that. And
I do.
Yeah, I've looked at many of your lovely photos, specifically on Instagram and also on your podcast, of some of your brioche projects. But I'm feeling the vibe. But just remind me what B was again.
A was lace, B
Yeah.
was ribbing and cables, C was twisted stitches, and D is brioche. And so
I'm
mine's
gonna go-
Snakes and Ladders.
I'm going to go with my gut, and the first thing that came into my mind, the brioche, then tempted me, but I'm going to go with B.
B, is that your
Yes.
final answer? Dan Jones, you said B, ribbing and cables. Well,
It
is that true?
It is my final answer.
Is it true? Does my Snakes and Ladders Mobius Cowl feature ribbing and cables? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And I have the very article right here, so you can see the cables and the ribbing snaking their way up and down the ladders. Let's bring it on. It's another one about me. Blame the wife. It's nothing to do with me. What was Nathan's first double knitting project?
Oh.
Was it A, the Piano number 1 scarf? Was it B, the Remember cowl? Was it C, the Sanka scarf? And was it D, the Perplexer scarf? What do you think, Dan? What was my very first ever double knitting project? There's no trick questions here. These are all double knitting items.
Okay. It's really tricky because I'm so drawn to the Sankar scarf.
Yeah.
But I also know that that's quite a tricky project. And it would surprise me if that was your first. Just give them to me again.
I will. So my first double knitting project, was it A, the Piano number 1 scarf,
Yeah.
B, the Remember cowl,
Yeah.
C, the Sanka scarf,
Yeah.
or D, the Perplexer scarf? You do have lifelines.
I think I need to take a lifeline here.
Ooh, now, do you want to go 50-50? Ask Instagram? Text a friend? Who is your text a friend anyway? Who's your text a friend for the day?
My text a friend, I have played it tactically.
Oh, yes.
And my text a friend is one of my best friends called Luke Jastal. He is an actor. So you can see the reason why I've picked him. Because he's not a knitter. He knows nothing about knitting. So I thought that my text a friend should be someone to help me out with what I'm sure will be some particularly tricky musical theatre questions.
Ooh, which of course means you're not going to be using that lifeline on this question.
No.
Do you dare, though, use a lifeline this early on?
I think that I'm going to have to. I think that I'm going to have to go with 50-50.
Okay, 50-50. Now, of course, 50-50 is very tactical. Very often you get left with two that you're deliberating between.
But the problem is, I'm not deliberating between any of them.
In which case,
I have no clue.
In which case, I will remove two of the incorrect answers, leaving you with one incorrect answer and the correct one. And I'm taking away A and B, and I'm leaving you with C, the Sanka scarf, or D, the Perplexer scarf. So you do know it was definitely a scarf.
You're evil. I mentioned the Sanka scarf. I said I was drawn towards it. You've done that deliberately. Oh,
maybe that's the right one. I don't know. In which case, I had to leave it in.
I'm going with the fact that you're trying to catch me out.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I'm going to go Perplexus.
Perplexus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, is it the Perplexus scarf? Oh, Dan, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking no.
He's right! It's Perplexus!
It's my favourite bit where I hear the music. I love it. Oh,
yes. Now, I don't have Perplexus with me to show you, but I have to say, of all of the things I've knitted with double knitting, it's the one I go back to more often. I wear it nearly every day through the winter, more so than any of my others. Thank you.
It's definitely, of all your patterns, it's the one that I want to knit the most.
Well, all you need to do is lose, and your challenge is to learn double knitting, so maybe Perplexus is in your very near future. How do you feel about that?
I don't want to knit it that much.
This one's quite tricky. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Which county does the Ryland breed of sheep originate from? Is it A, Herefordshire, B, Durham, C, Yorkshire, or D, Suffolk?
Oh, I see what she's done here, because I asked you a very similar question.
That's right.
So she's and
I struggled with it.
yeah. And you used the text a friend on this one. Oh crumbs! This is really tricky. I'm really tempted to ask Instagram.
Right.
But I'm
two lifelines down in 3 questions.
I'm not going to do it for that exact reason. I am being drawn towards an answer. Just give me the questions once more.
Okay, so which county does the Ryland breed of sheep originate from? And that's Ryland spelt Ryeland.
Yeah. Well, I am being drawn specifically, and I don't know why. I can't work out why, but I'm being drawn towards one answer, and
Right.
I'm always. When you watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you'll often see someone, they get sucked, don't they, down another route, and they end up going wrong. So I'm going to go...
It's really hard. Everyone always says, watching at home, the pressure's off, it's so different. When you're sitting in the hot seat and there's something riding on it, like your reputation as a quiz host, Dan Jones, it really does make you doubt everything you've ever believed in.
Well, I'm going to go with what I believe in, and I believe that there is a link between Ryland and York. So Yorkshire was one of the answers, wasn't it?
It was. That was answer number C.
Yeah. I'll just check. Okay, I'm going, final answer, Yorkshire.
Dan, it's wrong.
Oh, no.
Dan, I'm so sorry. It's not Yorkshire. It's not. It's A. It's Herefordshire. Your sneaky K has taken us on a proper tour of the UK here, and it's actually Herefordshire.
Oh no.
This gives me hope, of course.
Yeah.
With my 7 out of 10, I need you to drop a couple of questions, so I don't mind at all.
Thanks a lot. Come on, I'm ready. Come on, give me the next one.
Okay, we'll move straight on to question number 4.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
A garter stitch piece of knitting is created by what method? Is it A, knitting all rows? Is it B, knit a row, purl a row? Is it C, knit 2, purl 2 on every row? Or is it D, knit through the back loop on all rows? This is showing your technique skills.
Well, I'm in trouble then. What technique skills?
Now, you are familiar with garter stitch. I know you've knitted garter stitch.
Yes. The problem... Oh, crumbs. It's when you... Do you know what? When you think of these things and you think you can see a particular... So I think I can see garter stitch and I think it looks a particular way. Now,
is that the right stitch?
But the question is, am I clever enough to look at that and understand what stitches it took to make that in the first place?
And reverse engineer it.
Yeah, reverse engineer it. So I'm pretty sure it's either A or B. Just remind me what the answers were to A and B.
Well, A was knitting all rows,
Yeah.
and B was knit a row, purl a row. C was
Okay.
knit 2, purl 2 on every row, and D was knit through the back loop on all rows.
See, this is a clever question because you think that this question is easy, and I'm sure that everyone out there is going, it is easy. But let me
All of
tell
your
you,
listeners are
yeah.
screaming at their iPad screens right now.
When you're sat here, it's not easy. So look,
I
I'm going to go with what I thought it was in the first place.
Well,
And
fortune favours the brave, Dan.
I'm going for B.
B, knit
Yes.
a row, purl a row.
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
No. Yes. Yes, it is.
Was
It is.
that
It
your
is.
final answer?
It is. It is. B. Definitely. B.
Okay. There's no changing your mind now.
No,
The lights have
locked
gone
in.
lockdown.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, was Dan right? Does a garter stitch piece of knitting get created by knit a row, purl a row? No,
Oh,
it
no.
doesn't. Oh, Dan. No, it's A. Your other option's A. It's knitting all rows. Now, this is sneaky, and I sympathise with you on this one because if you happen to be knitting garter stitch in the round, as in like a hat or a tube, then it would be knit a row, purl a row. But because you're knitting flat backwards and forwards, it's knit every row.
And that is what has thrown me off. And she's been clever there. I told
Yeah,
you.
she
I
has.
told you in our first round that you had someone on your side that she wants me to lose. She's been
was
clever. She's
sneaky.
cut me out. Please, people out there, don't think I'm stupid, although I feel very stupid right now.
No, don't worry. I think we should just move straight on. Let's
Yes.
like
Put it behind us.
relegate your shame to the back cupboard and move on.
Put it behind us. Let's go.
Okay, question number 5.
Yes.
If I wanted to felt my finished project,
Yeah.
what yarn fibre should I use? Is it A, 100% cotton? Is it B, 100% wool? Is it C, 100% bamboo? Or is it D, 100% acrylic? For felting purposes, what fibre is best?
Oh, crumbs. I mean, you see,
There's a lot of knowledge here, a lot of knowledge needed.
there's something about me that says acrylic, but not enough of me, and I think that I really, it would be a total stab in the dark. So I think I'm going to have to push the button, and
Okay.
I'm going to ask Instagram on this one.
Right, Dan
because I
Jones is
believe,
using
yes.
his lifeline for asking Instagram. He's not entirely sure of the answer to this question, so he's going to be asking his friendly family of Instagram fans to provide him, hopefully, with the correct answer. This means, Dan, that we're going to park that one until later.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a couple of seconds now just to type that Instagram message, and then we'll move swiftly on.
Now, I'm being very clever here as well. Because I'm using my phone to film on, I'm actually using Kay's phone to ask Instagram. So now, why is that clever? I have quite a few followers, but Kay has nearly 6,000 followers.
That's
so
really sneaky.
But come on, there's no way I could ask on my own phone. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, if
Okay.
you're filming with it, I suppose we'll have to let you off.
Please let me off. I've done it. I've asked away.
Marvellous. We'll park that one for now, and we'll come back to that one when we've asked all the rest of the questions.
Wonderful.
So, moving on, Dan Jones, to question 6. This is the last of your knitting questions. Are you prepared and ready to go?
Yes.
Marvellous. The silkworm is a caterpillar that eats the leaves of which plant? Is it A, the loganberry? Is it B, the elderberry? Is it C, the mulberry? Is it D, the raspberry? I even tried to make those all sound the same without a downward inflection, so you wouldn't know if I was steering you towards one or the other.
I was going to say that was intonated beautifully. You can see
That's
that
my
I am
job.
working with a true acting professional here. This is marvellous. Now, this is a tricky question, and the only thing that's helping me with this is I am under the impression, and I hope it's the correct impression, that silk comes from the Far East.
Okay.
And if silk comes from the Far East, that is steering me towards an answer. Okay, I am going to go, and this is purely with the Far East thing, and
go on then.
I think
Give it your best shot.
that it is mulberry.
C, mulberry. Is that
Yes.
your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Then I will take it as your final answer. What do we think, ladies and gentlemen? Is he right? Does the silkworm eat the leaves of the mulberry plant? Oh, it's tense. Oh, it's tense. I'm just opening the metaphorical envelope and I'm waiting to hear from my earpiece. They're going to tell me the correct answer. It is the mulberry!
Come on!
Congratulations. Did you know, Dan, that vegans won't wear silk? It's not considered a vegan product.
Why is that?
Because sadly, the caterpillar, the larvae, needs to be killed before the silk can be harvested. So yeah, it's very sad. However, it's not all wasteful. In some of the villages where they harvest the cocoons, they very quickly kill the larvae by putting them in boiling hot water, which apparently is quite a good way of doing it. And then once the silk has been taken off, the children of the village get to eat the boiled larvae. It's a good source of protein. So waste not, want not.
And where are these villages? Do you know?
I think this happens in India and places like that.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure people will know better than I, but that's what I learned. So that's it for the knitting questions. Now we're moving on. Change of script
to the
musical theatre round. I am so excited about this. I am so excited. I'll be honest with you, Dan. Because of the nature of your questions for me, I thought they were really tricky, and that suggested to me that your level of knowledge is higher than I might first have imagined. So I'm going to be honest about this and say that I've upped the trickiness of 2 of your questions because I thought that they were too easy. So these do not reflect what I sent to Kay to corroborate. 2 of them are the same though. Yeah.
No problem at all. Come on, go for it.
Here we go. Number 1.
Yes.
Andrew Lloyd Webber shares his birthday with which American musical theatre composer? Is it A, Stephen Sondheim? Is it B, Jerry Herman? Is it C, Cy Coleman? Or is it D, Julie Stein? All great composers of American musical theatre, but which one of them shares a birthday with Andrew Lloyd Webber?
I must just say, Nathan, this is an exceptional question.
I really enjoyed putting it together.
It is. It's brilliant. This is way better than any of the questions I asked you. It's just superb. It's making because it's pulling me down a road, and I'm trying to think of ages of people and because
no, hang on. I'll help you out there. It's the birth date. They were not born in the same year, so I don't want you to go down a red herring.
So I have absolutely no hope then of getting this
nothing to
question
pin it
right
on
now.
After all. Yeah, that's not helpful knowledge, is it?
Okay, I think I'm going to have to push the button. I think I'm going to have to text Luke. I'm going to have to text a friend.
Do you think Luke's going to know it?
He is an actor, and if he doesn't know it, I'm never going to see anything he's in ever again.
The pressure's on for Luke now. Okay, so it's Andrew Lloyd Webber shares his birthday with which American musical theatre composer? And the options are Stephen Sondheim, Jerry Herman, Cy Coleman, and Julie Stein. Brilliant. So that is now parked, and we will put that with the Ask Instagram question, and we will come back to that in 3 questions' time.
Come on.
Only 3 questions left. You've got 3 out of 7 so far.
And 2 parked.
2 pending. Not bad, not bad. It's all to play for. I tell you what, this is giving me hope that I might actually be able to claw back some respectability.
Is he going to pull it off? The victory
Am I going
of
to
the
pull
century.
it off?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Come on.
Moving on. Question number 8. Now I really like this question.
Okay.
It combines 2 of my big loves.
Okay.
I am obviously the world's biggest musical theatre fan, but I'm also the world's biggest ABBA fan. I even have an ABBA tattoo on my arm.
Nice.
So this combines both of those loves and passions in one tidy little question. Here it comes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
ABBA member Agneta Feltskog famously played which iconic musical theatre role? Oh, okay. I don't think I even need to give you the answer. You sound like you know this one. Look at you. Look at your gleeful little face there. Okay, I'll read them out anyway.
Go.
Was it A, Janet in the Rocky Horror Show? Was it B, Sheila in Hair? Was it C, Sally Bowles in Cabaret? Or was it D, Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar?
I'm going D, Mary Magdalene, Jesus Christ Superstar.
You're right, I'm not going to spin that one out. There's no point. How are you so certain of that one?
I'm certain of that one because, like you, I really love ABBA. I love everything about them. I think that their production values for their live shows and their songwriting and everything about them is just wonderful. And so because of that, I've watched an awful lot of ABBA documentaries. I sound like a complete nutter now.
Not at all, no, you're in good company.
Come on, give me another question.
Well.
Yes.
Okay, I'm hitting you with question number 9.
Yes.
Little Shop of Horrors has a fantastic score written by Disney great Alan Menken, composer of Aladdin, Pocahontas, Beauty and the Beast and many more. But who wrote the lyrics? Was it A, David Zippel, B, Dorothy Fields, C, Howard Ashman, or D, Sheldon Harnick? Some very, very great American lyricists there. So who wrote the lyrics to Alan Menken's score for Little Shop of Horrors? David Zippel, Dorothy Fields, Howard Ashman, or Sheldon Harnick?
Now, I've played this show a couple of times, and so I've looked at the score, and you know, as any musician will tell you, all you look at is the dots. You don't really pay much attention to anything else. But there are 2 names that are really jumping out at me, and the first one that instinctively I really thought straight away was Dorothy Fields, but then you said Howard Ashman, and for some reason that is ringing a bell. But Dorothy, you see, and my worry is because I've done an awful lot of theatre work like you, I'm worried that the reason why one or both of those names is jumping out at me is because of other scores.
Well, she's certainly written the lyrics to some fantastic shows.
Yeah.
But was one of them Little Shop of Horrors?
I do not think it's the fact that she's a lady. I do not think that a lady wrote the words to Little Shop of Horrors. I think it was a guy. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to take a risk because, of course, it could be A or D as well. I'm going to go with Howard Ashman. Final answer.
Final answer.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, Dan Jones has said that Howard Ashman wrote the lyrics to Little Shop of Horrors. He's staking his reputation as a musical theatre fan on this fact. No pressure, Dan.
Come on.
Is it right?
Oh.
Yes, it's right. It's Howard Ashman.
Come on.
Oh, what an amazing show it is. I love Little Shop of Horrors.
Do you know what? The first time I saw that, and just talking about it now, who is the lady in that show?
Ellen Green played Audrey.
Just the thought of Ellen Green singing Suddenly Seymour or Somewhere That's Green, when you're performing, when you get those tingles in your stomach that flow all the way through your body. I get those just thinking of Ellen Green singing those songs. It is just so amazing.
I was lucky enough a few years ago to see Ellen Green singing Somewhere That's Green live.
Wow.
It was at Her Majesty's Theatre where Phantom of the Opera is playing. It was a Sunday night concert for charity, and Ellen Green, the legend that is Ellen Green, sang Somewhere That's Green. It was quite a moment.
What a voice that woman has. Oh.
I mean, she's quirky and she's idiosyncratic, and if she were to come onto the scene now, people would be going, why does she sing like that? But she's amazing. It comes right from the gut, and there's no arguing with that.
If you haven't seen it, if you've not seen it, you need to go and see it. See it on stage, see the film first, actually, if I was you, because the film I just think is epic. And you can
I've watched that DVD countless hundreds of times, and I could watch it again and again. It's the only film really that I've ever bought on DVD because I wanted to keep watching it. Normally I'll watch something once and move on. Little Shop I could go back to every day.
Well, it comes down to this now. So long as my text a friend and the Ask Instagram come up trumps, it comes down to this question.
It does. You've got currently 5 questions right with 2 pending. Yeah. And there's 1 left to go. It is. If you get this one right, and assuming your Instagram and your text a friend come through for you, then you'll have won.
Come on.
If you get it wrong, they have to come through for the right answers to give us a draw.
Yeah.
It really is nail-biting stuff. It's all hanging on this last question. So, question number 10. The original Broadway production of which of the following shows was not choreographed by legendary choreographer Bob Fosse? So I'm going to read out the title of 4 shows, 3 of which were choreographed by Bob Fosse in their original Broadway productions, and 1 of them was not. Which one was not? Cabaret, Chicago, Pippin, Sweet Charity.
Okay. There's one question. There's one answer there that's jumping out at me. And
is it a hunch or is it based on knowledge?
It's based on both. I mean, it's a hunchy knowledge. I've not seen Pippin, and I've been involved with all those other shows.
Right.
I'm going to go for it.
He's going to go for it, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to go for it. He's going to jump straight in.
Straight in with final answer. Yeah, straight in with final answer, because I really do think that he did not do Pippin. So I'm going to say Pippin.
Final answer is C.
Yes.
Oh, I can't bear the tension. My stomach is in knots. I've got sweaty armpits. I'm a dry mouth. This is just too exciting for words. And I know the answer. Are you sweating as well, Dan? Are you sweating?
Yes, there's beads of sweat coming down my face. Come on, man.
Okay, right. So, the original Broadway production of which of the following shows was not choreographed by the legendary choreographer Bob Fosse? Dan says it's Pippin. Oh, Dan, it's wrong.
Oh no!
Oh no! It's not. Now, this is deliberately a very sneaky question, and it is one of my originals, so I haven't made this one any harder. The correct answer is Cabaret.
Right.
And most people associate Cabaret with Bob Fosse because he choreographed the film.
Yeah.
He did the Liza Minnelli film, but he did not do the original Broadway production, but he
That's
did
what's thrown me
for all
off.
the others.
So it can now only be a draw.
Oh my goodness!
Or
this
I
is
lose.
giving me hope.
It's either a draw or I lose. So Nathan,
Okay,
there's
so
either one.
this might be a good time. This might be a good time, Dan, to just refresh people's memories about our forfeits. Should either one of us lose.
Well.
Now, I gave you the choice of learning to double knit or knitting with my Auntie Sheila's crazy bobbly yarn, and I think that you've chosen double knitting as your challenge. Is that correct?
I absolutely did, and the reason for that is it's hardly a forfeit, as I'm sure any of you would agree, and that made me think. I need to go all deal or no deal on you and offer you a box 23. Now, what I'm going to tell you about that box 23 is only that it is an option for you instead of knitting a lovely bankhead in a horrible acrylic yarn that you then have to wear in public and produce photographic evidence for all of us. So it is nowhere near as bad as that. It is a forfeit that reflects the niceness of the forfeit that you offered me, which is the double knitting. So you can think on this. You can think on this, whether you want to go for the box 23. I'm not going to tell you what that is, or whether you play it safe, or is that safe, and you go with what you know. So we'll come back to that when we find out if you've won or if it's a draw.
I will think on that while we get your last two results in from the good people elsewhere. Have you got any responses in?
I have a response, and the first response on the felting question comes from my wonderful wife, Bryony Bears, that says, "I'm not telling." Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kay. That's brilliant. Marvellous.
That just shows you how competitive she is.
So just a reminder for everybody who can't remember what happened 20 minutes ago, the question was, if I want to felt my finished project, what yarn fibre should I use? Cotton, wool, bamboo or acrylic? And what have the good people at home said to you, Dan?
We have a categoric answer. So I'm convinced that this must be right, or they're all meanies and they're all ganging up against me. I'm saying wool!
You're saying wool because the good people at home have said wool. Now, does that mean that the good people at home are on my side and want me to win? Okay, Dan, it is the correct answer. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, everybody. That's amazing.
You now have 6 out of 10 with one answer still to come in. And that will give us the draw. Otherwise, I've won. So it really is all pending on this. Now, have you had a response from your friend Luke?
I have had a response. Amazing. Okay, and he has given me an answer. And
okay, so I'll recap the question.
Yeah, he's not completely convinced here, so this puts me in a real position.
Do you want to go with his answer or use one of your own? So Android Webber shares his birth date with which American musical theatre composer? Is it Stephen Sondheim, Jerry Herman, Cy Coleman or Julie Stein? Which is it to be, Dan? What's Luke come through with?
Okay, I am going to have faith in my friendship with Luke, which goes back many years, and he needs to be aware that if this is wrong, it's over. No, I'm joking.
Would you have said the same as what Luke has told you?
This is the only one that I swayed towards, but if I'm honest, I think that I swayed towards it because it was the first choice you gave me. You know, when you hear answers, you think, yes, that must be it. Oh, he said something else, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, you'll have guessed what answer I'm going to give. I am going to say, and this is to draw the game, or I lose. So this means everything. I'm going to say Stephen Sondheim.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the final answer in the final round of this bout of knit or forfeit has been given. And that answer is A, Stephen Sondheim. Can I string this out any longer? Yeah, probably. So, is it right? For the draw... Oh, what do we do if we draw?
If we draw, because we have both used the same amount of lifelines,
yes, of course.
we both commit our forfeits.
Okay, deal.
Nice. Okay.
Is it a draw, ladies and gentlemen? Is Stephen Sondheim the right answer? Does he share a birthday with Andrew Lloyd Webber?
This, ladies and gentlemen...
Yes, he does! Yes, he does! Oh, Dan, congratulations. It's a draw.
Congratulations to you. Come on. The clash of
well
the
done,
times.
everybody. Thank you to everyone at home who's helped Dan with his answers. Thank you
to everyone
Luke.
that helped you as well, too, with your answers on your
Absolutely.
end.
So,
what
Dan,
amazing
this means I get to teach you double knitting.
Yes. And what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, Nathan, is I'm going to spread the love and I'm going to try and get, so long as you win me over, and let me tell you, if you win me over with double knitting, I am as evangelical about things as, you know, I think people know with my love of Star Wars, if you get me into this, I'm going to scream it from the rooftop. So I'm looking forward to this journey. And then I'm going to share what I learn with all of you. So, you know, hopefully it will be a new experience.
You know it's my goal in life to share double knitting with as many knitters as I possibly can.
Let's do it.
And so, remember, it is double the fun.
Yeah, I love that. Double knitting, it's double the fun. Nathan, big decision time. What do you go with? Do you go with the bankhead with the lovely pom-pom? Or do you
I forgot about the pom-pom.
Yes. Or do you go with box 23?
Oh, right. Okay, now here's the thing. I have recently decided that I'm too much of a yarn snob for my own good, and I've always knitted with really nice fibres, and I've always eschewed the idea of knitting with acrylic. However, on Christmas Eve I was in Hobbycraft, and most of their stuff that they stock is either all acrylic or an acrylic blend, and I was feeling some of it, and do you know what? It was really soft, it was really nice. I thought it was going to be horrible, squeaky, nasty, plasticky yarn, but actually there's some really good stuff out there. So part of me is saying, why pay £20 for a ball of yarn when £2.50 will be just as good and you can wash it? So I am drawn to that, and oddly, I kind of quite liked the colour. However, curiosity is getting the better of me, so I'm going to ditch that one. I'm going to say, open the box.
Yes!
Tell me what your other one is.
Box 23. Well, for one episode, your show is going to have a couple of co-hosts. I think that your lovely teddy bear, what was he called, the first teddy bear you made?
Oh, my green pink panther.
Yes, I think your green pink panther and a friend need to join you on the couch for one episode of the Stop Mortician podcast. So who is that
Who's
friend
the
going
friend?
to be? The friend is going to be a bakery bear. Yay!
Oh, brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
You have to knit a bakery bear. Kay will send you either Mr. Bakery Bear or Mrs. Bakery Bear. You have to knit a bakery bear with yarn of your choice. You have to give them a name, and they have to co-host your podcast with your lovely teddy bear for one of your shows at some point this year.
That is brilliant. I absolutely accept. On so many levels, I love the Bakery Bears. Clearly, I love the podcast, but I love the Bakery Bears pattern. I genuinely do, and I have long been thinking that I really should get round to getting hold of one to knit. So this gives me the perfect
which one would you like? Which one would you like? Would you like Mr. or Mrs.?
Oh, do you know what? Because I'm such a proponent of male knitters, and because I have a thread on my podcast for stuff for the boys, I think it would have to be Mr. Bakery Bear.
Yay! I can't wait. And now, what are you going to do about the yarn? What yarn do you want to knit in with?
Well, I tell you what, we could combine both ends of the forfeit, and I could knit the Bakery Bear in the blue acrylic yarn that I was going to knit the Bankhead hat in.
Do you know what?
Think about that?
Do you know what I think would be cool? I think you should knit Mr. Bakery Bear in whatever lovely yarn that you think is most appropriate. But then I think you should knit him the most chintziest, acrylic-y clothes possible. So I will send you the blue yarn that you like the look of, and you can knit clothes with that one for him. And what you could do is you could have like different outfits for him. That would be so cool.
Amazing.
You could have like a nice outfit, and then you could have like the shell suit outfit, which would just be like so funny. I love that. That's such a great idea.
That's a deal. So it would be a nice Bakery Bear knit with acrylic yarn clothing. I think that's a fantastic idea. Brilliant.
So cool. Nathan, I've got to say how it's just been an absolute privilege to do this with you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for wanting to get involved.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. Had a lovely day.
Well, do you know what? I owe you, mate. I owe you big time now. So feel free to call it in any time. I hope. Well, I really hope that there are future collaborations that we could maybe do. I would love.
I think so.
I totally thought how funny it would be if at some point in the future we could do not a knit or forfeit, a favourite places to knit, where we're both potentially there, because it would just be
like we're both here right now.
Well, no. But how great it would be if we were both there. Oh, no, I see what you mean. Yes.
We are, Shan. I don't
we
know
are.
what you're saying.
What am I talking about? But it would be so cool, because, you know...
That'd be amazing. I'd love that.
You really made me laugh with your... when you were talking about the history bits, and you said, I should know this, but I haven't got a clue. You so made me laugh. It'd be super fun. So maybe at some point in future we can make that happen. But thank you so much for taking part in this. It's been great fun.
It's been such a pleasure, and it's so much fun, and I have to say I think a draw is probably the best outcome we could have gone for, because
what an amazing way to start the year.
Mine's not in tatters. We both get to knit something new and fabulous as our forfeit. I just did air quotes there, so sorry to my podcast viewers, because they know how much I hate it when I do my own air quotes. and I can't wait to get started. So
Cool.
we'll be in touch later on and we'll get this all going properly. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this first extra special challenge for Knit and Forfeit. And between Dan Jones and myself, Nathan Taylor, it was a rollicking draw. We've had an amazing time. Happy New Year. And Dan Jones, over to you.
Thank you so much, folks, for watching. Thank you to Nathan, and I think it's time to finish the show on an amazing high. So we'll see you soon for more Knit and Forfeit. Bye. I can't believe it. In fact, I don't know what I can't believe because I don't know.
How
But
funny.
as I will have said already, and this may be news to UK,
Right.
whether I have won or lost, I'm going to learn to double knit.
Oh, really? You haven't said that?
Yes, I'm going to learn to double knit.
Right.
So it was such a lovely forfeit because, you know, bettering yourself in any way is always a good thing. And so I just couldn't see it as a forfeit. So what I'll do as well is I'll pass on what I learn. I'll obviously talk about it on the podcast, but specifically for patrons, I'll do 1 or 2 little videos as I learn stuff. Because Nathan, the master, is going to teach me some things. And then maybe I can relay it to you in layman's terms.
And me, I've not got a clue.
It will be coming
You
from
could
me.
teach me.
But if I can spread the joy, well, I hope it is a joy. Otherwise, it might end up that it is a bit of a forfeit. But let's go on this journey together through this year, and let's see if, you know, there'll be a few more double knitters by the end of the year.
Super
I have a
cool.
secret hankering to knit the Star Wars scarf,
All right.
which has one side the dark side and the other side
The light side.
which
Wow.
would be just great fun.
Very cool.
Yes. What's off your needles, Kay
Oh,
Jones?
right, let me pop that down. I've got 3 little things. I finished Dan's mittens. I think I had 1 done last time, didn't I? And I did finish them. And they washed up so lovely. Do you know what I've said before about non-superwash yarns? I'm a big fan of non-superwash yarns. It just behaves in a different way. You know, they didn't stretch out. They didn't, you know, all the stitches evened out really lovely. Can you see how beautiful they look? I did in the end use DPNs for the second one. I channeled Susan, and actually, you know, it was brilliant. I just took a bit more care when I was going over the join, just to make sure that, you know, I pulled it tight when I was changing my needles over, and it was all fine. So Susan, thank you for that. And I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it another go, and they worked out beautifully. And look how beautiful they blocked out. Don't they just look lovely? And this is the yarn from Erica, Dreams in Fibre, and they have definitely softened up. They're not scratchy. I don't think they're scratchy. Certainly not for your hands. I mean, if you were to wear it on your neck, you might say there's a bit of a prickle, but certainly not your hands. I think are fine. And it was just lovely when I was washing it. I mean, it did have a bit of grubbiness in the water, but nothing, you know, to speak of really. Do you want to pop them on? Just have a little look.
God, wow.
And you wanted these for just when we go walking in the winter. You know, not driving or anything like that, but I think mittens are so much cosier, aren't they, for when you're walking than gloves. And I think it's nice to hold mitten hands as well.
Good for
You know, when
throwing
you both
snowballs.
got mittens on, I think that's just really nice.
And also as well, it makes me feel more like a Lego man.
Oh yeah, you do look like a Lego man. You can knit Lego man.
Yes, I've seen those.
Yeah, you're not getting any.
No, I don't
Not
want to.
from me anyway.
Thanks.
So fantastic pattern, and as you know, Dan's using it again. The waiting for winter mittens.
Yes.
So give it a go. Such a satisfying knit. I know Amber's just knitting a pair, and she knit like a mitten in a day and started on the other one. It's such a super quick knit and just fantastic. I'm definitely knitting more mittens. So that's my first thing. And then my second thing is I finished the little toy blanket, the little crochet toy blanket, and I ended it with this picot edge, which I ended up just making up. I did look at different picot edges, you know, and most of them you had to do a round of like double crochet first and then work out of that double crochet round. I was really tight on yarn. I used virtually a whole ball of the cream for this, and so I didn't want to risk that, so I just made up my own little picot edging, and it's not perfect, but you know, it's okay. And I did put that into the tutorial in case anybody wanted to do it, because it looks okay, I think, doesn't it? And Bryony's been playing with this every single day since Christmas, hasn't she?
Yes.
She, you know, bear in mind there's a whole big one of these upstairs on the back of the sofa that she never touches. Give her a small version of it.
It's angled.
She absolutely loves it. Sorry, darling.
Sorry.
So that's that.
And what else is off Mrs. Claus's needles?
And then the final thing was Mrs. Claus finished. Lovely Miss Gelato, Miss Elsa giraffe, I should say, and she's complete with tail. You will be pleased to know. And there is the evidenced tail. And she's got like a little fluffy end to a tail. Can you see that? Isn't it cute? I love how the yarn striped on the tail. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, and this is the dress that Mrs. Claus knit. And it's a simple little dress, but I think it works. Don't you think it works? And Bryony loves her. I've just had to pull her away from Bryony so that I could show everybody. Hello. She's got a cute little face. I love how all the faces are kind of different, aren't they? So there she is, and she's all done, and she's being well loved at the moment. So that's my 3 finished objects, which I'm quite pleased with.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, your 2 finished objects. And Mrs. Claus very kindly
Yes, Mrs.
allowed
Claus.
you to show the third one.
She did, and Mrs. Claus was very good. She in the box that she came in, she sent back the spare yarn,
Isn't
the
that
spare
nice?
dancing dog dye work
Very
yarn.
generous.
Yes.
Very, very generous.
So we can
I thought.
use that, can't we?
We can.
Yes.
Well, it's time for a brand new section. Well,
Is it?
Yeah, well, it is. It is a brand new section because we've never done this before outside of Christmas.
I'm excited.
We're changing the what's on your Christmas TV to what's on your TV.
All right.
At this time of year, I don't know about you, but I mean, to be fair, most of the year we seem to be searching for decent things to watch.
Yeah, we don't really watch TV as such, do we?
But when we do, we normally get about an hour's time before bed on a night to sit down and watch something.
Yeah.
And because it's only a very short amount of time, we always want to make sure that we watch something good.
Yeah.
Also, as well, Kay and I are really bad at light watching.
Light watching.
If it's not an engaging TV programme, we disengage with it very fast.
Yeah.
CSI, for example,
Yeah.
we used to watch,
We did.
but then I think it did dumb itself down a bit. I don't know, it felt like it changed.
We liked the New York one. Gary Sinise was very good, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
Some of the other characters
something
just
changed.
annoyed us, didn't they?
Something changed because we just weren't
No.
interested.
I think probably it
Samey.
had gone on a long time, and I think the episodes became quite samey. I think that was the
Yeah.
thing.
I think what we like is we like engaging programs. The things that we've really enjoyed in the last few years are the Newsroom.
The Newsroom we loved, yeah.
And we really enjoyed The West Wing, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
We really enjoyed 24.
Yeah.
Although that's not really your type of thing anymore, I don't think.
Oh no, I love 24.
But I thought you had issues with the...
I don't like violence and things like that. I can't, but 24 is not. I mean, it is. There are.
Was the
scenes.
worry the
Yeah, I don't like. Do you know if you're watching something and then it turns out you get really into the characters, and then at the end the main character doesn't survive or something? I'm not in with that at all. I totally don't like that. You know, it's not necessary. When I see that something's not necessary, that it could have ended in a different way, then I think, do you know what, I can't be doing with that.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple of things like that, hasn't there?
Yeah. I think what we like are things that probably run for between, I mean, ideally 10 and 20 episodes, so that you can really get your teeth into it. Oh, another thing we watched and we loved was Parenthood.
Oh yeah, we love Parenthood.
which
And we watched those all, didn't we? All the series.
well, we tend to do that with everything.
yeah.
We don't really watch
We
TV
like to have
stuff.
no. I mean, I don't like waiting another week to watch something. So we like to find a series where there is a chunk of them, so we know each night we can watch one.
Yeah. So, what we thought we would do in this section is we would talk about the things that we find through the year that we've enjoyed, and maybe tell you about a few things you've maybe not seen, and maybe we've already done that with some of the things that we've mentioned, or maybe not. But also, we would love for us to share between all of us, and I'll change the name of the What's on Your Christmas TV thread to the What's on Your TV thread.
Right.
And what would be great is if we could all share things in there that we have enjoyed and that we think we all might enjoy watching too. Now, there's a few things that I'll throw out there, and I'd love to know what people thought of them when you consider what we've already said that we liked. So West Wing, Newsroom, 24, Parenthood.
Fargo we've loved as well.
Fargo we really, really enjoyed. So the Gilmore Girls,
Oh, I've never watched it.
please share with us
Yeah.
if that's any good, and if what it's most like. So
Yeah.
is it like Parenthood? I'm guessing it might be, or is it like something completely other than Parenthood? Do you think that we might like it? Do you think other people might like it? Another one as well, which I'm particularly interested in right now because it is on offer on iTunes,
Right.
and it's a TV show called The Affair,
Yeah, right.
and it's got Dominic West in it, who was in The Wire. You will recognise his face, he's an English actor.
Right.
And it's got some other famous people in it too, and it is about, it's not a subject I particularly...
The Wire. What's the
No, forget The Wire,
Oh.
The Affair.
Oh, right, okay.
It is about someone having an affair, from what I've read of it,
Right.
but it's got brilliant reviews. It lasts 10 episodes, and it looked good.
Right.
It's a thriller, so
Ooh,
I don't
I
know if it goes a bit Glenn Closey or
Oh, right, okay.
quite what happens, but it looked all right. Have you seen it? Was it any good? Friday Night Lights. Now, that has in the guy from Parenthood who the daughter falls in love with, the guy who ran the...
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. He
I
was
think
lovely.
he plays a quarterback or something or
Oh,
other.
right.
And it's got in a guy who we know. The guy was in... We watched a film by J.J. Abrams called Super 8.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a guy in it who was in that.
Right.
And there's also a woman in it who plays one of Jack Bauer's love interests
Oh,
from
right.
24. And I've heard good things about Friday Night Lights. So, again, do you think we'd like that? So I've thrown quite a bit out
few
there.
out there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So please, let's share. What we'll do is we'll share any good stuff that we watch. But if you could share some of the good stuff you've watched, and then hopefully we can turn that thread into something more than a Christmas film recommendation thread, which is of course really good, and when it's Christmas 2016 it will become What's on Your Christmas TV. So what's on your TV? Come and tell us. We want to know.
Oh, no.
It's the end of our first podcast of 2016.
It's flown by.
It really has flown by. So what is in the Endy Bits?
Endy Bits.
Yes.
Endy Bits. I've already spoke about the knit along that we've got starting on the 1st of January, the Cozy Toesies knit along. We're also going to have a knit along for our patrons that's going to start on the 1st of February and run till the 1st of February till the end of March, which I believe is the 31st of March. So it's a 2-month knit along. And I did ask in the group, the patron group, what people wanted to do. And in the end, what I've decided upon, because I think this covered, a lot of people wanted to do cables, some people didn't. So what I've gone for, because we've not done this before, is garments. We're going to think of a cool name, but I thought, if you want to do cables, then you can do that within a garment. So when I say garments, it's cardigans, jumpers, ponchos, vest tops, anything you would wear on your body, basically. And like I said, we will think of a cool name and we'll give you more details, but
On the next
we'll
pod.
give that to obviously the patrons. We'll do that on the next podcast. Just thought to mention it in case patrons are watching and you wanted to start having a think about what you might want to do. What I think, I've had 2 thoughts for what I'm going to knit. One of them is I've always wanted to knit the Still Light Tunic by, I think it's Vera Valimaki. That's a possibility, and I did actually swatch using the blacker yarns that I really love. It's a 4-ply, but it's kind of like a sport as well. The pattern's a sport weight. I swatched, and the swatch came out perfect stitch gauge. My row gauge was off by 2 rows, which I think, you know, I could have lived with. But guess what I did? After I'd already washed and measured my swatch, so it was all fine. I put the swatch on the stairs just to take up to my office. Some laundry got put on top of it. It went in the washer, and it's non-super wash. So it kind of, I pulled the washing out of the washer, and I was like, what's that? It's my swatch, which of course has kind of felted. But look, that's the swatch I did. You can see it more on the back, the fact that it's kind of felted. It's not fully felted, which is interesting. It didn't matter because, like I said, I'd already measured the gauge, but I was like, oh. The other thing that I might knit is a poncho, and it's called the Indigo Frost. If you find it on Ravelry, it's a super pretty poncho with like eyelets on this bit, and then a bit of colour work, but the colour work is done, I think, by slip stitches rather than actual, you know, stranded colour work. And I know lovely Sasha she told me about this pattern, and she, I think, is going to be knitting that, so I might do that as well. So that's that. And then just for the sock knit along, I thought I'd just show you the prizes. I've shown this before, but we've got 3 skeins of the West Yorkshire Spinners Bird yarn, the new colours. That's going to be one prize, the whole of the 3 skeins. Super duper prize. And then we got sent another prize from lovely Emma at Eldon Woodcraft. She's got an Etsy shop. And she wanted to send us a bag for the knit along, which she did, and she also sent one to me, well, to us. I've kind of stolen it. Look, isn't it cute? It's got blue tits and robins and bullfinches, perfect for the, you know, the theme seems to be the bird yarn kind of prizes. So that one's mine. This is the one that she sent for you all. She sent a bag and a little notions pouch, look. So that's going to be another prize. So thank you, Emma. And if you haven't looked at Emma's bags...
Well, I think we spoke about it. Emma, I'm going to be dropping you a line because I think we'd quite like to maybe involve you with the next Bakery Bear news.
Yes.
So I shall drop you a line.
Yes, but if you've not looked at... I've said it's an Etsy shop. I don't know if it is an Etsy shop now, Emma. I've said that. It's eldonwoodcraft.co.uk.
Oh, just search on that.
So maybe it's not an Etsy shop, so... Go look at her bags, they're absolutely beautifully made. It's a thicker weight fabric and just lovely. Highly recommend those. So that's the other prize, so thank you so much, Emma, for that. So that's those. And then I wanted to just quickly, I saw somebody on Instagram, I can't remember who did this now I've said it. Oh, was it Sherlock Knits? Was it you, Sarah? I think Sarah did this. But she did a little rundown of her projects for the year on what she'd knit, and I thought, oh, I might have a look at mine. And altogether last year I completed 44 projects, 13 pairs of socks, 7 toys, 4 hats, 4 pairs of mittens, 11 shawls or cows, 3 blankets, 1 cushion and 1 baby cardigan.
And a blankety-blank checkbook.
I know, I was going to say that. I was going to say a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite a good range actually for me. I mean, the only thing I didn't knit last year, as you can probably tell, is actually a garment for a, you know, a full-size human.
You're going to
So
sort that out with the knit along?
I'm going to remedy that in the knit along, yes, definitely. So I thought that was just an interesting thing to do, just to, you know, just to see what I'd knit for the year. So
Is that all your indie bits?
I think that's my indie bits.
Because I can hear shouting.
I did get some things for Christmas, but I'm going to show you that next time.
There's shouting coming from corners of the world.
Is there?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going, what's going on with knit or forfeit?
Oh.
Let's find out.
Kay Jones.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful new show. Yes, it's Knit or Forfeit.
It's open. Jones.
Oh my! Well, there's quite a lot going on with Knit or Forfeit. And who's going to win? The bear or the trout?
Well, what do you think?
I hope you're not too offended with me calling you a bear on the trailer.
I think it's worse to call somebody a trout. It's not very nice, is it?
I just thought that was quite opportune, the bear and the trout.
Bear and
Although
trout.
it's salmon that they eat, isn't it? But I'm sure a bear
I'm
would
sure
enjoy.
a bear would enjoy a trout.
He's not going to be picky, is he?
It's a
Or
very
she?
similar flavour. Actually, we
Yes.
prefer trout.
We do.
We had it on Christmas Day, didn't we?
We
had
do.
smoked trout instead of smoked salmon.
So it's time for, in January this year, Tilly Trout and Kay to Knit or Forfeit. Yay! It's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited,
Yeah.
Tilly.
And there's so much to look forward to after that as well. I'll be having a history off with the amazing Robin from the Stitching Between Pages podcast.
Robin.
And
I think
then-
she's going to blow you out of the water,
Yeah,
personally.
I'm sure she
Yeah?
probably will. But Robin messaged me, I've mentioned this before, she messaged me when we went to see Bylands Abbey, and she asked me to send her pictures of the flooring there, and that started off a conversation with her about history. So it's going to be a real thrill for me to play her at Knit or Forfeit with the knitting and the history. And then, bringing it home, it's Zena and Kay. Yay! That'd be amazing.
Oh, what
The
lovely
little-
people.
little
I've
yellow
got.
uke.
What lovely people I've got to play with.
And,
there.
and the exciting thing is, your additional subject at the moment is unknown.
Unknown with Zena, isn't it?
We
know
shall
for
find
Tilly,
out.
don't we?
Tilly's baking,
Baking with
yes,
Tilly.
and
Zena, we need to find. I'll message you,
Yeah.
but we need to find. I mean, at first we said, should we do banking? Because Zena works in a bank and she has done for years, and I obviously worked in a bank. We're not going to do banking.
we could
Don't
follow
worry.
that with accounting. And
Yeah. Oh, my little thing's falling out.
do some bookkeeping.
Oh gosh, wouldn't that be thrilling? It won't be banking. You'll be pleased to know. We will think of something else that's.
But what a roster for the first season
No.
of Knit or Forfeit. It's going to be amazing.
It is.
And on that note, I think we should finish by saying
Oh.
Happy New Year.
Yes, are we done? I'm trying to look
Hope
around.
you have.
I feel like there was absolutely tons I wanted to say this time because it's been 3 weeks, but I think I've covered.
Everything that you needed to.
Yes, I
and the
think
things
so.
that we can add to next time.
Can I just say a huge thank you to everybody who sent us cards, who sent us happy Christmas messages, who sent us gifts over Christmas. That just reminds me just to say one reminder on gift sending to us. We have said this before, but if you send a gift to us from, it's mainly the US I think, isn't it, and Canada, if the value of that gift, if you've declared the value of that gift to be higher than £36 sterling or equivalent of, we get charged tax on it, we get charged import duty.
And it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And
We took the decision, we paid out hundreds of pounds most likely last year for gifts that have been sent to us. Not anybody's fault. This is no one's fault at all. This is our silly rules. We didn't think it fair to penalise other people, so we paid, what needed to be paid for gifts that had been sent to us. However, we felt we had to draw the line with it because we were sent a number of gifts at Christmas that we got import duty bills for, and we just decided
we couldn't afford. It wasn't a case of deciding. We couldn't afford it.
No, it's it's so frustrating for us, and that we just can't do that. So if you sent us a gift over Christmas where you put the value down as over £36 sterling, you will get that gift back at some point, say with a note saying that we didn't pay the tax on it. So I'm so sorry, but it's something we have spoke about before, and like I said, we just really had to draw the line, didn't we?
As you know, you guys know, we took the decision partway through 2015 to try and do this as our job, and that's meant quite a large, massive pay cut for us, which we're totally cool with because our life is amazing now.
Yeah.
And what that means is we just don't have the disposable income to be paying that out. Literally every penny that we get goes on, as we spoke about on episode 24, part 2, putting food on the table, eating.
And that's all fine, that's our decision to do that.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
but this is something out of our control.
People want to support us. If you want to support us, just become a patron for a month. Just do it for a month. If you just think, I just want to support them, just as a one-off thing, patron for a month and then stop. But if I know people will still send stuff. If you do, what do they have to do? Well,
we can't obviously tell you to downvalue it. That's entirely up to you, and I think it probably would be illegal for me to say, to tell you to do that. It's your decision. But if you declare the value to be higher than £36 sterling, we will have to pay taxes. So therefore, the gift will go back to you. So
either send things less than £36.
Send things that are less than £36 value.
Or become a patron.
Yeah. And we're so grateful that people want to send us things. We really, really are grateful, and it's just so frustrating, the system in this country.
You pay tax on gifts.
On gifts, and one of the bills I think was £40 that we had to pay, and we just can't do that. Who can really? Who can? And you get 3 or 4 of those, and it's just ridiculous to expect people to pay that.
In
and
a
it's
month,
our
that's
government.
a weekly. It's a weekly show.
I know. Anyway. So we just wanted to say that.
So thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
And let's get ready for an amazing year, because it's going to be an amazing year.
It is.
And we will see you in 2 weeks for episode 41.
It'll soon be my age episode.
It will.
It's your age episode now.
Oh, it is?
That's cool.
Happy 2nd birthday to me.
A few episodes yet to go for mine.
So we'll see you in 2 weeks, episode 41. We'll be back, obviously, next week. I can't think what we'll be doing with patrons. We've obviously got tutorials going on, and there'll be a book club maybe, and there'll be all sorts.
Oh, I've ordered a new book, which is coming today. Very excited.
So patrons will see you whenever we would normally see you. Otherwise, we'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 41.